Lev Parnas released some documents. Now, Lev Parnas is the Giuliani associate who's waiting trial on campaign finance charges. He's one of the guys that tried to leave the United States and got caught with his companion, Igor Fruman. Now, Lev Parnas, of course, is cooperating with law enforcement officials. And these documents show that along with trying to dig up dirt on Biden and Burisma in Ukraine, they did something else very shady and possibly dangerous involving former Ukrainian ambassador Marie Yovanovitch. And so, look, the records turned over by Parnas' attorney show that the former ambassador was being closely monitored by a Republican congressional candidate. Her physical movements were tracked in real time along with her computer and phone usage. What the hell? What the hell? Look, do you realize that could put her, that put her in serious physical danger. But that's what we find out. And of course, she had testified before that she believed that she was threatened, and she had been threatened. So now, at the same time, she, of course, had been pressured by the Trump administration. And so whether she was going to be fired by Trump by not playing ball or whatever was going to happen to her in Ukraine, there was a lot of pressure on her, and she felt, of course, very threatened. So now the documents include WhatsApp exchanges between Parnas and a man named Robert Hyde. Now, Robert Hyde was a GOP candidate for Congress in Connecticut, and in the text, in the messages, they appeared to be discussing Yovanovitch. Now, the exchanges in March of 2019 do not name the ambassador, but include links to stories about her and are from the period of time when Giuliani and his associates were trying to get her fired. Because, again, she wouldn't play ball with an investigation into Burisma. Now, the messages suggest that they'd learned the president had already decided to remove her, but may have changed his mind. Hyde's messages indicate Yovanovitch's physical movements were being tracked in real time, along with her computer and phone. Quote, in one exchange, Parnas is told, she is under heavy protection outside Kiev. They are moving her tomorrow. That's already, that's bad enough, right? Bad enough that she has to be under heavy protection, possibly because she fears for her life from reprisal from some of the shadier elements inside of Ukraine. Now, Hyde, whose campaign website said he's a former Marine and Iraq War veteran, sends an update saying that, quote, she will not be moved, and special security unit upgraded force on the compound. He tells Parnas on March 27th that we, quote, have a person on the inside, so inside of her protection, again, super creepy, and they even talked about, what we're going to do to get more people on the inside, or what kind of some sort of action that they were going to take against her. And again, this is incredibly disturbing. For me, it sounds like they might have meant to do her physical harm, or at the very least had threatened her into resigning herself. I mean, why would you need to be tracking her movements in real time? Why would you need to tap her phone? And I realize I might be jumping to extremes here, but this is what it sounds like. I think these are dangerous people. Dangerous. Now, she had also appeared to be the discussion between Giuliani, subject of discussion between Giuliani and Parnas a month later, with Giuliani writing, he fired her again. I pray it happens this time. I'll call you tomorrow, my brother, Parnas responded. So it's interesting to note that in his phone call with Zelensky, Trump had also said about Yovanovitch that she was, quote, bad news and was going to go through some things. What things is he talking about? Look, Donald Trump has long been suspected of having ties to the mob. I'm not saying it's true, but that sounds like mob talk. Oh, she's going to go through some things. Really, what things? What kind of things? What's more, in testimony before the House last year, Yovanovitch said that she had heard warnings from Ukrainian officials that Giuliani and Ukraine's then prosecutor general Yuri Lutsenko had, quote, plans and that they were going to, do things, including to me. What things? What things are they planning to do? Again, this is incredibly disturbing. Were they trying to kill her? Again, super extreme, right? Or threaten her? Why else would you want to know her movements in real time if you didn't plan on doing some sort of harm to her? I mean, that is super, super disturbing. Now, it gets even worse when you take Mr. Hyde into consideration. According to NBC, Hyde was an outspoken supporter of the president. However, he was reportedly removed from the Trump National Doral, Miami, by police in May. He was removed from Trump's bedbug hotel. Well, why? What happened? He claimed that a hitman was out to get him. A hitman. And that his computer had been hacked by the Secret Service, according to an incident report obtained by the Hartford Courant. So now, wait a minute. That sounds crazy. Look, if anybody was considered doing anything crazy, it's a guy that claims that the person that he supports is sending the Secret Service after him to hack his computer and to send a Agent 47 after him. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I don't know, dude. This is insane. And look, it looks as though Yovanovitch, I mean, she could have been hurt through this. And so I do think that there could have been, at least possibly, an attempt on her life had Trump not fired her. So I don't know, dude. This is bad. Now, these are only some of the documents released by Parnas, and again, we don't know a lot of the details yet. But I'm going to hazard a guess that there's a lot more crazy involved in the rest of them. And so we will have to see from here. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.